Good morning, everybody. Now, I know it's been a couple of months since my last one of these videos, and I know I told you I was going to do these videos more often. But when I did say that, I said I was going to keep you posted with like wedding planning stuff. And the truth is, we've done nothing. Actually, no, that's not true. We've been trying to do lots, but there's a pandemic going on, and the world, there's more important things going on outside of me and Sarah than our wedding, you know what I mean? So we're actually thinking about doing it in Spain. And obviously Spain is having a massive COVID peak at the moment, and I think that the UK isn't going to be far behind, so we need to go visit the venue. We've found somewhere we really love, but we've based that on their website. So we need to go visit the venue, we need to go and like talk to caterers. So the whole thing is kind of being delayed a little bit. We were thinking September next year, but who knows how long the pandemic's going to go on for and what repercussions it's going to have. So we're going to postpone until our plan now is April 2022, but even that's a number, even that's a date that we've just sort of pulled out of the air and gone, that feels like a fair date. So kind of keeping you updated to tell you that there's not really much of an update. I am calling Gary later. Gary is Sarah's dad. Well, I'm pointing at Sarah because I can hear her coming down the stairs. You coming down the stairs?
Yes.
Here she is. Gary is Sarah's dad, father of the bride, and he's being really helpful because he speaks the best Spanish, or at least he... You look nice. You're not sure about Gary's Spanish? Well, he is the most confident at speaking Spanish. I reckon probably Jackie speaks the best Spanish.
My mum speaks. You should explain. So for context, because you get asked this a lot in your videos actually, why I speak Spanish. My parents used to live in Madrid just before I was born, and then my parents, we have a family home in Almeria, which is in the south of Spain, kind of, if that's Spain, it's kind of near where my thumbs are touching.
Okay.
So I grew up there and my parents speak very good.
I'm taking charge of things for the time being because it's stressing Sarah out, but I think it's more that it's the lack of anything we can do. We can't make decisions, we can't do much, and so we're kind of going around in circles. And it's kind of, she's like, I want to do stuff. So I'm going to talk to Gary because he talks good Spanish, and we're going to make a few plans and try to work out when we can go visit the venue, which won't be till probably next year now when things calm down.
They said we can have it was so sweet, they were like, you can have a FaceTime and we'll walk you through, but that's no different.
It's not
just looking at a video.
Right, it's not the same as going and looking and feeling. We need to find caterers and like we need to talk to some florists and all that. So I'm going to talk to Gary and deal with the like, kind of the boring logistic stuff. Sarah did some impromptu baking yesterday for spooky season, and look what she made. Little, what is it called? Swiss meringue.
It's an Italian meringue.
Which
was only clarified when I had to look online. But they, it depends on how you store them. So if you store it in the fridge, like that one, it will still mostly stay in its shape. But if you store them in it still taste fine, it won't affect the meringue, but they will stink.
Recipe to come? Are you going to document it? Film it? No? Recipe not to come, just for us to eat.
I just kind of made it up.
Touch my screen and the wedding is off. Get your fingers away from this. I hate fingerprints. You know best. You touched it! We're doing the puzzle. We do this most mornings on the Times. We're having coffee and puzzle. Welcome to Repton Boxing Club. I'm actually really lucky to be here. So this is Ryan. You might want to crash down and Ryan to get in. Hi guys. Ryan's like super cool, great boxer. He's actually opening his own gym called 12-3, which is coming imminently. It was supposed to happen before COVID, but as we keep saying, COVID has sort of destroyed the world in some way. So I'm very lucky to be here, because actually you can't just come to this place if you're at my level. You have to be like a really decent boxer. And it's so cool in here. And you are
I'm vice chairman.
Vice chairman here.
I was captain of the club for about 10 years.
Right.
I've been here 27 years.
Right.
But yeah, now I help run the place. So I'm coaching now.
Which is great. So I get to be here on like one-on-one sessions when the place is otherwise empty. And it's so, I'll give you a little tour in a minute. It's so cool in here. And so this is me back into the boxing. So if you've been watching me for a while, you'll know that I've been into boxing for a bit. And it's kind of the only sport that I'm not diabolical at. I'm not good at this by any means, but I'm getting better. And Ryan, I've been there, done that. He's really great, and actually such a great coach. I've had a few coaches in the past. I've had to travel across London to get there. Ryan's quite close to me, but also just really gets me. So I'll see if I can film some bits and bobs and show you my progress. But you know, go easy.
Good. on, go right. Come on, go right. Right, left, right. Go. Here it comes. Here it comes. Left two. There. Two.
That was disgusting, but really, really brilliant. I think that might be my best session yet. Like I said, I've only been seeing Ryan for about 3 weeks or so, so that was like my 4th or 5th session, and I'm picking it up. It's amazing how much my body's adjusting to it though. One, the fitness, because I do a lot of, I work out quite a lot, but the way I work out is very different to that. But also like my lower body, you'd think about boxing being very top heavy, right, because you're punching a lot, but you're constantly springing around on the balls of your feet, and on like, your calves are constantly active. So I've actually had blisters on the balls of my feet and my big toes for the last 3 weeks, and my calves have been like cramping and stuff. But like, such a good workout. I really love it. Like I said earlier, it's like a game of chess. You have to really think about what's going on, because Ryan's so experienced. All he does is take a step to his left or his right, or a step towards me, and suddenly I'm pinned in and I have to work out how to move without using so much energy, without taking a knock. And he's really good in that. If I drop my guard or something, he'll just poke me, not hard, but enough to remind me to put my guard back up. I love it. Although now I'm exhausted and I've got to learn to swim later. I'll tell you about that in a bit, because it's been kind of like an ongoing process. I need to put my camera down because my shoulders are killing me. Also, shout out to For Coffee. It's just round the corner from the boxing club, and I just think it's brilliant, so I get my coffee post-boxing. Lunchtime.
I have cookie regret, and for the first time, it's not that I regret getting a cookie, it's that I regret not getting a cookie.
I don't have the cake.
I don't want a cake, so I want a cookie.
You want me to make some cookies?
No, that's the reason I didn't get one, because I wanted to be healthy. We went to Ottolenghi for lunch. Apologies that my little clip was so short. I got a bit shy in there, because we went to the restaurant just as like they were closing the kitchen. Basically, I got back from my boxing. Sarah was on a shoot. We met and went for lunch, but it was just as like the kitchen was shutting down. So it was a weird time, and it was so quiet in there. There was like 2 other people having lunch, and I felt a bit awkward getting my camera out. So I had arancini balls with a couple of salads, and you had what? Just a couple of salads.
Yeah, but they were really good.
Yeah, the food in there is really good. But there was a cookie, and as I walked in, I was like, right, I've done boxing, I'm swimming later, I'm going to burn loads of calories, so I'm going to eat loads for lunch, and then get a cookie as well and treat myself. And it looked so good, but I ate all my food. I had a whole plate full of food, and I thought, I shouldn't get a cookie, because...
Always get it to go.
I know, that's what I've learned.
Always.
I was like, I shouldn't get a cookie, because, I've done all this exercise, I may as well, champion being healthy and blah, blah, blah. And then, since we left the restaurant, and it's about 35 minutes to walk home, that's all I've been thinking about. I'm actually going to walk past there on the way to the gym as well in a bit, so I know the cookie dream isn't dead yet. Anyway, shall we discuss swimming? I've had 2 lessons so far. I'm scared of water, and I'm 32 years old, and it's finally time for me to sort of conquer my fear and get in the water. I'm not good at putting my face in. I've actually nearly drowned twice, and I think part of that was just the panic of being overwhelmed by the water. One time I was whitewater rafting and I fell in the water, and the guy said, if you fall in the water, just don't panic, cross your arms across your chest like this, and then take a breath when your face breaks the surface. But of course your face doesn't break the surface for a while, and you're just panicking, and I took on a lot of water, and it didn't help with my fear. And another time I was swimming for a job, actually. It was one of my early jobs in a waterfall in Derbyshire in winter, and it was just so cold that my body just stopped working, and someone had to come and fish me out because I just went under. And I don't know this, and I don't want to point blame, I don't want to make like a big thing about it. From what I understand, because my brother has the same thing, my twin brother, he was also really scared of water. From what I understand, my mum tells me that when my dad was teaching us to swim, he just threw John and I both in the water, and of course we panicked a bit. Now, I don't think that inherently that's necessarily a bad thing. As you may know about this, my dad was he basically was abusive, and not so much to me and John, but because he was so unpredictable. He was a scary guy, and I feel like, so Sarah was saying that when she liked to swim, her dad did a similar-ish thing, but of course, I think
it's association, isn't
that's
it?
it.
I didn't associate my dad. So my dad tried to teach me to dive by standing on the edge of the pool and going literally flat in face, belly flop, so you weren't scared of the water.
I don't think he threw you in, and I also think that because of the connection you had with your dad.
I didn't associate my dad with fear, whereas you did, so that probably was a fearful experience.
So now I'm not good in water, basically, and I went for a swim, because my gym gets really busy, and because of COVID, you have to book in to use the place, and it was so busy that there was nowhere to go, so I went, I'll go for a swim, and I got in the water, and I can get, you know, do a length, but it's just really embarrassing, and it's like I splash everywhere and I burp a lot because I constantly gulping for air, and then it comes back up, and everyone else is so cool, calm and collected. So I was like, I'm going to bite the bullet and finally have lessons. And the fear, I'm only 2 lessons in, like I say, but the fear I had when I just first put my head in the water and just literally held my breath was really intense. And I'm getting better. Like I've been going in the pool a couple of times a week without my instructor, just to sort of get used to being in there. And I'm learning, and it is getting easier. I don't know if I'm ever gonna love it, but I want to feel confident in water because I'm actually doing my job. There's been so many times where I've been in a watery situation and just have not felt comfortable. But also, Sarah and I are going to want to have kids at some point, and I'd like to teach them how to swim, and I'd like to also not only teach them how to swim, but be confident enough to know that if ever we were in water and there was a problem, I could just dive in and, you know, whatever. And actually, I was really surprised when I mentioned it on my stories. I thought it was funny. I talked about it on my Instagram stories because before me, the person having a lesson was like an 8-year-old, and the instructor, who's the same instructor that I have, was throwing things in the pool, and this kid was like doing handstands and going and retrieving things from under the water. And I was like, wow, she's really brave. And then I had my go, and she must have just been like going, you're ridiculous. You're 32 years old and you're like scared to be in waist deep water because your face goes in. And I mentioned it on a story, and so many adults were like, I can't swim either. So I just thought I would keep you up to date on my swimming progress. It's going okay. Maybe, I highly recommend, by the way, adult swimming lessons if you're like me and not good in water, because learning the technique really helps you feel more in control when you're face down going along. And I actually am not dreading it this time. Who needs cookies when you got cupcakes, hey? Give me some.
That shrunk a lot. It's not as stiff.
I don't care about that. Just put it in the gob. Your mouth is unreal. Like, Sarah has probably the biggest mouth I've seen on something. It just like unhinges. I don't know how. Look, you got the whole width of that cupcake in your gob then.
Huh?
Good evening. I finished my swimming lesson and didn't go according to. I mean, it wasn't bad, but I spent a lot of time swimming on my back.
Take your mask off.
Oh, I can. It's just you and me on the street. I spent a lot of time swimming on my back, which you'd think would be easier because your face isn't in the water. But actually, I found it much harder because when the water goes on your face, your face kind of goes a little bit under, and it just sort of goes up your nose. And in order to get out of that situation, if you're face first swimming on your front, you just put your feet down and stand up, or you just come up. But you have to like flip your body around. I just found it really unnerving. But once we'd done that, we flipped onto my front. She was very impressed at my progress. Anyway, and now we are just around the corner from home. We went and got some dinner afterwards because we were hungry, basically. We went to a place called Caravan. And now I'm full up because I had... the lack of cookie earlier really set me off, so I ended up having 2 main courses and 2 drinks and dessert, so...
2 drinks?
Yeah, I should have had the cookie earlier. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you very soon. Hopefully next time I'll have like some more actual wedding updates. Who knows?